What's going on, everybody out there, and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review, the show where I share my thoughts on all the books I read last week. And this week I have a total of 13 books I'm going to be discussing. One book that did not come out this week, but you guys know when I get my hands on this book, I have to share my thoughts on it on the Dark Avenger comic book review. So most of you already know what that book is, but we'll get into that in a moment. Really quickly, this week you're going to notice I'm not going to be posting up the covers to the books I'm discussing. That's because I am on a very tight schedule today. I barely had enough time to work on the thumb. I'm not super happy with it, but I did the best I could for the amount of time I have. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to put any graphics or anything into this video. It's literally just going to go up as one raw video this week. It's just been super busy. But at least, hey, I'm able to record this week. So I'm happy about that, at least. Also, really quickly, I want to mention, don't forget to check out shootingstaruniverse.com. That's my website. That's where everything I do across the internet and social media comes together. And you've got exclusive posts. And I am still working on the Dark Avenger, why I brought the Dark Avenger comic book review back post. Last week, Tommy was home from school. It was super busy. Today's super busy. But the good news is, throughout the rest of the week, I should have some free time. I'm going to work on finishing that post. I'm working on another post as we speak. There's a lot of exclusive written stuff I'm going to be doing on Shooting Star Universe soon. But I am going to talk about one other thing. On Twitch right now, something was spray painted on my Twitch wall. Chaos, apparently, is coming to Dark Avenger Gaming. What does that mean? I have no clue, but we're going to find out together. I say I have no clue, but I actually do have a clue. I'm just teasing everyone. Anyway, also, I'm doing a contest right now. Super quick on this. If I reach 25 subscribers in a single month, I'm going to be giving away a game, a digital game. If I make it to 50 subscribers in a single month, I'll be giving away a digital game bundle. And then if I make it somehow to 100 subscribers in a single month on Twitch, I will be giving away both the game and the gaming bundle. So if you're interested, go over to my Twitch channel. You can subscribe. Feel free to join in on the conversations and on the streams. I am working on a streaming schedule. Don't have one set at the moment, but I'm working on it. You could also join the Discord, which now is 100% Dark Avenger Gaming, because we talk comic books here. I talk about life over on my main channel when I do my vlogs. I figure Discord is a 90% gaming channel. There are other Discords on Discord, or other servers on Discord, like for companies and shows and whatnot, and they do great. But when it comes to all the comic stuff, I find I'm talking about it here with all of you, or we're talking back and forth wherever about it. Same thing with vlogging, so I figure Discord is a good place to stick with just the gaming discussion. So if you'd like to find out when my schedule comes out finally, follow the Discord, join the community. We are building a really awesome community on Discord. It's pretty quiet right now, but I'm hoping that as time moves on, the community will get more and more talkative, and we'll have more of a fun conversation. But also on the streams, there is fun conversation, so hopefully you'll pop by one day. Right now, I'm regularly streaming Sea of Thieves. I'm working on Fortnite. I'm working on other Battle Royale games. I have some other walkthroughs or playthroughs I want to do, so a lot of stuff coming. But that was a lot of talking. That was 3.5 minutes of promo and stuff. So again, don't forget to follow me all across social media at Dark Avenger C86, and don't forget on Tuesday nights 10 p.m. Eastern, Comic Frontline, we do Comic Book Weekly, where we talk comic book news, our top fives, and much more. Let's get into this week. So before we get into the week of February 19th 2020, we're going to rewind time a little bit, and we're going to talk about Argo 5 issue number 32, the follow-up. We had a cliffhanger in issue 31, and Dan saw the review, and he was able to get me issue number 32. I'm super happy with this issue. I loved it. This was the Reserves versus Argo 5, all to save this dirty, disgusting man. And I loved how in the end of it all, I'm going to go to the end and then I'll rewind. In the end of it all, Gladiator actually says, did we do the right thing? Saving a man who did so many disgusting things in the world. And because Argo 5 was meant to bring him to justice, not kill him, bring him into justice so that he can face trial. Death Squad wanted to kill him. Their company, or their links to the government, wanted him dead. And they somehow ended up colliding in this epic fight. I love the fight. This issue was so good. The banter back and forth between the Reserves and Argo 5 was amazing. I love Shazrath, who he got so annoyed with one of them. He just ripped her entire costume because her costume was apparently where most of her abilities were. it was so good. I loved it. Chain Reaction had an awesome chain reaction. Of course he does. He always has an awesome chain reaction. But in the end, though, the reserves almost are able to complete their mission until Argo 5 finds a way to, at the very last moment, bring him in. Now, we don't know if he survives or not. I mean, he's in critical condition. But, again, it goes back to, did they do the right choice? Would we have done the same thing? Which side was right here in the end? And you know what? You go with the side that justice is always, you put a person on trial. But, I don't know. It really makes you think, though, who was truly the right one here. But, again, I'm always on Argo 5's side. It'll be interesting if the Death Squad or the reserves ever come back and there's another fight. I don't know. It looks like there could be one day a collision between Argo 5 and not just the reserves, but the entirety of who runs the Death Squad. So we'll see. This is an epic book. I love the artwork in the book. Again, the pinups at the end of the issue, always amazing. I love Argo 5. It's one of my favorite books. You can check it out at argocomics.com, A-R-G-O comics.com, or you can just go over to indieplanet.com and type in Argo Comics. You'll find everything. Argo 5, Sorority of Power, the Argo Anthology. There's so many other books. And Dan also has a new imprint where he actually has done 2 Kickstarters, 2 successful Kickstarters already. The Thunder Zone, it's amazing. I hope I said it right. I got myself nervous thinking about what the name of it was at the last minute, but you can check it out. Dan's been doing amazing work all around. It's an awesome imprint for Argo Comics as well. And it shares books from all around the world with all of us here in the States. I love it. So that was outside of the week of the 19th. We're jumping into the week of the 19th now. We're going to throw in some honorable mentions and some other books. Let's talk about the other books first. Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 2. I got halfway through reading the book and I don't know. Maybe I'll try reading it again and I'll discuss it more on Comic Book Weekly on Tuesday on Comic Frontline, which is tomorrow if you're watching this on Monday and I'm recording this Monday. So tomorrow on Comic Frontline, I just lost interest halfway through and I just said, maybe I'll come back to it. And then I read all the rest of my books and I still have a couple to read. And I just lost interest. Didn't come back to it. So I let it go. And I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm pretty much done. I just lost interest in the book. Then we have the Plunge issue number 1. I really wanted to get into this book. I love Joe Hill. I really do love Joe Hill's writing. The only issue here is there was just so much dialogue that in the end I decided to skip ahead, not reading ahead, just skip ahead to see how much dialogue. We're talking walls of dialogue. I was getting PTSD of Scott Snyder, Justice League. So in the end, I decided to put the Plunge on the shelf. I might return to it at some point because I do love Joe Hill's writing, but it was just so much dialogue and I had so much to read this week and so many other things going on that I just couldn't dedicate that much time to reading that, especially with Wolverine issue 1 being, a super big book as well. I ended up having to put the Plunge also on the shelf, but I do want to try to revisit it at some point. Another honorable mention goes to Superman Smashes the Klan issue number 3. I enjoyed this miniseries. It was a fun read. Again, it's outside of the main universe. It is a really fun read. I would definitely say check it out in trade. This is only more of an honorable mention more than anything else. It was something that I think I mentioned it on Frontline when issue 1 came out, and everybody was like, I didn't even know that book came out. And the title itself, I think, kind of raises eyebrows a little bit. I think I got a couple of eyebrow raises when I mentioned it, but it was a fun read for me. Now, last book I'm going to give an honorable mention to is Ghost Spider issue number 7. I did not get a chance to finish reading that. I didn't even really get a chance to read it at all yet. But I am reading it, and I'll probably discuss it more on Comic Frontline. So this is kind of more of a teaser than anything else. But Ghost Spider has been a pretty strong book so far. I've been enjoying it. I know Johnny Storm is from Gwen Stacy's universe, is in this issue, so I'm going to enjoy reading it. I just wanted to make mention of them at least. So now we're going to get into books I did read. And we're going to start with Flash Forward issue number 6, the grand finale. Wally West making the decision to take over the cosmic power and become one with the cosmic chair and protect the universe and get rid of the dark world that was created by all of his choices or his depression, or I forget what it was exactly. It was created through him though. So in the end, he spends a little bit of time with his kids and then he decides, okay, I've got to do this. And he goes off and he joins with the chair. But he makes and I forget that person's name again. Brant will tell me on Tuesday. He makes him make a promise to protect his kids. So he goes off with the cosmic chair. The guy grabs his kids. And what happens is, so this entire 6-issue series, we lost a lot of people in between. I know that myself, Kat, and I think Brand are the only ones still reading this. We lost a lot of people's interest through this series because a lot of people were just like, they didn't care about this. So I stuck with it, especially because I made it almost all the way to the end. So I was like, I need to know what the payoff for Flash Forward is. And the payoff is this. Wally's kids are back in the main DC universe. Them returning to Iris. Iris snaps out of her New 52 mindset and remembers being married to Wally and her 2 kids. The family's together, but now Wally is out floating around with the cosmic chair, keeping the multiverse safe. And on top of all that, he also gets the Dr. Manhattan logo on his head. So now not only does he have the cosmic chair, but he also possibly has Dr. Manhattan's powers? Question mark? I don't know. But that's where Wally's going. And then if you want to hear more about it, they talk about checking out Flash issue 750, all leading into the 5G universe. Great. I don't know. But that's what you get out of it. Wally becomes a cosmic chair / Dr. Manhattan 2.0. And his kids are back in the main universe. What kind of impact will that have on the universe? I'm very interested in finding out. And especially now that Barry, who was saying, we'll find a way of end. I'm curious to see how the interaction with Barry and Iris now becomes, especially with the kids back and her knowing that she's now part of the family. I might check out issue 750 of Flash just to see what the repercussions of this were in the Flash side of the DC universe. DCeased Unkillables issue number 1. I really wasn't going to read this because I felt like DCeased, it was done, it finished, we had a conclusion, and that was that. Okay, so this takes place a day after the virus was released into the world. Deathstroke at the beginning of the issue was taken over by the virus and then somehow was able to combat it and come back to life. It turns out it's part of his healing or whatever, but he's able to fight the disease, basically. So it's a day later. It's a day later. Everyone we know who died is dead. We have a few people who are left. We have Jason Todd. We have We have Cassie, who is now taken on the Batgirl mantle, and we have a few other survivors. I don't want to spoil it. I mean, if you do want to read it, you should. I would definitely recommend checking it out. It was interesting. It's only a 3-issue mini. And Inspector Gordon's alive still, and he finds out about his daughter. There's a moment there where he sees his daughter, and then they end up at an orphanage with there's these bunch of kids, and they now have they have something they need to do basically to protect. So the issue ends there. I find it interesting. I find the premise of the idea of these are the people who survived, and some of the people who actually. There's also another part. I forgot about that. There are other survivors who are on an island. Again, check out the issue and you'll find out who these survivors are in Batman's. I don't think it was just Batman. In the Rogues Gallery. It involves Mirror Master, I'll say that much. But it was interesting. This is an interesting issue. And I guess this is more of the survivors during and maybe after the event of DCeased. So I'll stick around for 2 more issues. It's a 3-issue mini. Why not? Marauders issue number 8. So 2 issues ago, Kitty Pryde was thought to be dead. Then we had a segue issue, and now we're in this issue where they find Kitty's body. So it's been confirmed, or at least by the feet, that Kitty Pryde is dead. And this is where the reactions start to happen. Iceman's reaction, Bishop finds her body, and then Iceman comes in, and they think it's these people that did it. So Iceman really, went dark. It went dark for a moment, then he pulled himself back. And then there was a scene with Storm and Emma Frost where Storm was pretty pissed with Emma, and then they kind of were comforting each other in the end. But basically, this is the fallout of finding out that Kitty Pryde is dead. Now they want to know who did it and why they were using pieces of Krakoa so she couldn't phase through. But the dragon's still alive. What could that mean? I don't know, but we'll find out. But now Kitty Pryde can't be resurrected, or at least that's what we're led to believe. She can't be resurrected by Krakoa. What's next? And is she really dead? I don't know. I don't know. Is she really dead? Is there something that we're not seeing yet? Marauders has my interest piqued. Has me wondering if what we're seeing is actually happening or something else going on. Because you got Sebastian Shaw. Wow, that was a horrible. Sebastian Shaw, who's also working with people. He's got his own motive going on. I'm actually, the intrigue in knowing what happens next is what's keeping me with Marauders. So, I'm definitely interested. Last issue lost me. This issue kind of brought me back in a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Valkyrie Jane Foster issue number 8. I enjoyed this issue. I really like Valkyrie. So Jane is dealing with normal life. You know, she had a date that she stood up because she had to be Valkyrie. You know, she had other things going on. And then something happens. There's a huge problem that hits Earth. I forget what these things were called, but there's a rumbling. They come through the ground, and Thor knows who they are. Thor actually shows up in this issue, and Thor has a flashback of his father telling him about the beings that this comes from, and that he should never see it in his lifetime. But Jane and the rest of the Avengers are fighting these things off, and we find the source at the end of the issue. And Thor tries to end it, and Jane's like, don't do it. There's something amiss here. And I liked also how Thor's talking about, you know, he still has a lot of Thor in him, but at the same time, he's now the All-Father. So now he's got a different type of mindset, and he has to have a different type of mindset because he's Thor. So, I don't know. I love the issue, and I love the ending where, of course, Thor doesn't listen to Jane, and stuff happens. So, I'm looking forward to see what happens in the next issue. Valkyrie, it's been very strong. I didn't think I'm not gonna say I didn't think. I was excited for the series. I was interested in seeing this different take on Jane, and I think we finally found a really awesome book for Jane to stick on, and hopefully Marvel won't reboot or end at some point. I thought she was awesome as Thor as well, but it's nice to have Thor, Odin's son, back as well. And this is the best of both worlds. You have Jane and you have Thor. You can't ask for anything more. That rhymed. And I didn't mean to do that. Batman issue number 89. We get more. And, of course, this is the book that sold out everywhere. I'm glad at least I got it digitally to read. It sold out everywhere because Punchline does make a few cameos. Not a full body cameo, but you see her head. You see her talking to Joker. That's about it. The full first appearance is coming out this Wednesday in Hell Arisen number 3. So good luck finding Batman 89 or Hell's Arisen issue number 3, because DC decided they were going to mention that this is where the first appearances are. And of course, everyone and their mother is buying them. I believe I saw Batman 89 on eBay. Cheapest is like $30. Insane. I'm not doing it. If you want to do it, you're welcome to. Anyone who got it for cover price, congratulations. I love sharks. You gotta love them, right? No. So Batman 89, let's get into the story. So Catwoman teaming up with Harley Quinn. Harley finally admits that she's done with Joker, and she actually just wants to find him to kill him. But she knows what's going on. She knows the deal that Catwoman made. Batman gets Penguin to the hospital. He goes off to look for Catwoman. And, well, first he goes off to look for Riddler. And it turns out Riddler disappeared, and it turns out the creator actually was there and had whisked him away. And that's where Catwoman and Harley show up, because they made it out as well. They made it out of their situation. And they actually were... the people that got away from Batman ended up trying to go after Catwoman to kill her, because the designer or the creator, one or the other, wanted Catwoman killed. They got rid of them too, and they brought them back to Batman, and that Batman is going to throw them all in jail, of course. But I love how Batman's like, we need to talk about this, and she's like, yes, I'll tell you everything, but first I got to tell you, I'm really sorry. And I guess next issue we're going to get more on the background of the designer or the creator, and I'm interested in seeing where this all came about, because this was years ago, and obviously they're keeping Batman on his toes because they want the main target, which is Bruce Wayne, but little do they know. But anyway, I'm interested. I love the artwork in this book. I'm really having a good time with Batman again. I'm really interested in seeing where this grand book goes. And also Joker there's a hint that Joker is going to be going after the Bat family, and it looks like Joker has figured it out. Well, I think Joker's always known. He's just purposely not known until now, but he's finally put the pieces together about who everyone is, except Batman. I didn't see Batman in that picture, but you found out, you know, Dick Grayson's Nightwing, Damian Wayne is Robin, Barbara Gordon is Batgirl, Jason Todd is Red Hood. It's crazy. I want to know what Joker's going to do with all of this knowledge. And remember, there are 3 Jokers around, I believe. If not, I'm interested in seeing how all this information that Joker now has is going to play against Batman. Obviously, this is going into a future story, and I'm looking forward to it. Justice League 41. What can I say? The Justice League loses to the Eradicator and his Daxamite clone army. That's basically it. The whole issue is the Eradicator basically besting the Justice League in every turn. Every single turn, he's able to one-up the Justice League. And then you got Batman, who finally convinces Madame Xanadu to help him. They get back to Metropolis. They're able to kind of get most of the Justice League away. But it turns out that Earth is in a lot of trouble. And as you saw in the picture, it turns out that the Eradicator did grab one of the Justice League members before they all escaped, and that was Wonder Woman. And he's basically telling the world, your heroes aren't going to save you. We're not looking for peace. Prepare to be assimilated by Krypton. And I'm interested in seeing where this goes. I'm interested in a lot of things, but this was a good issue, finally. I enjoyed it. The artwork was good. It's first time ever we've seen the Justice League bested so quickly. And Flash is it just me, or is Flash second-guessing himself lately? I mean, they tell Flash to run. He's like, it's an honor working with you guys. And it's already too late. He's taken out again. And now it's it cost possibly Wonder Woman, because if Flash would have gotten away, they would have been able to take Wonder Woman. He would have been gone already, and everything would have been fine. So, I don't know. But Justice League, very interesting again. I'm loving this Eradicator story arc, and I can't wait to see what comes next. Let's go into a number 1. Wolverine number 1. I talked about this at the beginning of the episode. I loved this first issue. So Wolverine wakes up. He doesn't know what the hell's gone on, but apparently he's killed Jean, he's killed Quentin, and he's killed Domino, and he doesn't know why. And he's starting to question himself. Rewind back to a couple of days in the past. Him on Krakoa doing his own thing, you know, playing with the kids, working with the kids, teaching them survival or whatever. And he has a nice conversation with Kitty. It was weird. It was definitely weird. Because I think Kitty knows that in the end, Wolverine's going to want to leave. Because Wolverine is a wanderer. He's always been the type not to settle for too long. Even though the longest he's ever settled was with the X-Men. I mean, when it comes to a Wolverine book, this is when Wolverine goes off on his own. These are those moments where he's not with the X-Men team. So this is connected still to X-Force and what's going on in X-Men. I say this because, of course, there's charts in this book. I mean, okay, Hickman, we made fun of the fact that you put charts everywhere. Please stop putting charts everywhere. Literally, in every single book. At this point, I've done what I know a lot of people have done, because I've talked about this to a lot of people, and a lot of people do exactly what I do. We skip over the page. That's what I do. I skip over the page. I don't have time to sit there and read an entire page of dialogue or charts or whatever to see what's going on. And I know it connects very deeply into the book, but I just end up skipping over it and checking it out later on. That's what I do with Wolverine too. So there's a threat to Krakoa. Him, Jean, and Domino, and I forget the guy who can make portals. God, why did I forget his name? I had it, and then I lost it. But they're off on this mission. We find out that there are drugs being made now through the mutant community. And there's this one drug, and it's a, a specific woman. And they end up chasing after her, because apparently now there's a black market even for mutants. And she ends up really messing with Wolverine's mind, it looks like. And in the end, he's chasing after her. We're back in the present. And now Wolverine himself doesn't know who he is. Again. Interesting stuff. It's a huge read. It's a big book. It's a big first issue. I definitely recommend it. I would say get the Alex Ross cover. I know I got the Alex Ross cover. And I'm hoping Alex Ross becomes a regular for the variants. I don't think he did. I'm trying to remember issue 2, and I don't remember if he did issue 2. But I'm definitely hooked on Wolverine. I can't wait to see what happens next in Wolverine. I'm hoping that after we get through this arc, or after we get through whatever Hickman is working on with X-Men, and we get away from the charts and everything, that all the books kind of take their own path. Because right now, everything seems very connected. And there's a reason for that. I know there's an event coming, so obviously everything's connected for a reason. Hopefully when that reason is done, we get that event over with, everybody can go off, and Wolverine can be Wolverine, X-Force will be X-Force. I mean, they could all work for Krakoa, but this just reminds me so much of when there was that schism, and then Cyclops went over to Utopia. This is reminding me of Utopia all over again, where the mutants are separating from all of mankind or whatever, like literally just separating completely now. And I don't know. I have a feeling this is all culminating to something big. We'll find out, though. And then finally this week, my favorite book each and every week. It's gone past issue 100 already, and that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue 103. Donatello goes back to New York. He's having pains in his shell. I'm wondering why Donatello's having so much pain in his shell. And obviously this is playing into something. He goes back to April, and he wants to do a little... He's had enough of being away from New York. He knows Raphael's in New York. Raphael's working with Aliplex, and oh God, why did I just lose her name completely? She just became a turtle. Janica, at the shelter in the mutant city now because of what Hobb did, and you got Leo and Mikie still up in the Hamptons, and Mikie finally, the cat goes missing. And Mikie finally kind of has a breakdown, and Leo's there, and he's we'll find the cat, don't worry about it. The turtles are really broken right now. And Jenica actually has a huge back and forth argument with Raphael about it. She's like, your father's dead, you guys are ninjas, I thought you were gonna teach me, how, bring me into your clan, teach me, I'm a turtle now. I thought you were gonna bring me in, you were gonna teach me, and we were going to continue what all of you are doing, and instead you all are broken apart. You're here, your brothers are there, what's going on, and then you also have these little ferrets who are running around that old Hobb had that are just, they want food, they're kids, they're honestly kids. And Jenica and a few other people in the mutant community find this out, and they see old Hobb take them and want to sell them to the Foot Clan in order to bring food and stuff in, and he's like, nobody else, I'm the leader here, the Mutanimals are the ones that are protecting, or keeping this city rolling. And I'm so happy finally somebody smashed that man, that guy. I want to say guy, but it's a cat. Smashed him in the face and said, the Mutanimals are over, you're done. And now we'll see what happens in the next issue. I'm glad, because at this point, old Hobb is the one person I wouldn't want if I was in the mutant community, representing and keeping my community going. So I'm really curious to see where this goes. Obviously you have... Now, obviously it's going to open up with a fight next time, but now you know that the Foot Clan is still kind of working in the shadows, taking mutants, but for what? What are they taking the mutants for? Also, I'm wondering. And then somebody is watching the turtles, we know this, and I believe it's Shredder. I really do believe it's Shredder, and he's going to try to find a way to bring the turtles back together again. I don't know, I could be wrong. And I don't believe Dead is dead. I believe they're going to find a way to bring Splinter back at some point. How, I don't know, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. But I love this issue. I love that the turtles are finally, they've been broken apart. You got Donnie back in New York. Now you've got Mikie and Leo who have to figure things out and get back to New York. Raph has always been in New York. They're not wearing their bandanas at all anymore. I want to know what it's going to take to bring the turtles back to where they are. And where's Casey? We haven't seen Casey in the past couple of issues either. Wonder what's going on with him. But this is a strong series. I've been loving this since issue 1. I've been recommending this since issue number 1. If you haven't already, go check out the hardcovers, the soft covers. Go check everything out. I know there's one soft cover and hardcover that's very hard to come by. And I believe that's the one where Donnie died, but he came back. But try to find the issues. Read it digitally if you have to. It's been an amazing ride since issue number 1, and it hasn't slowed down yet. Tom Walsh and Kevin Eastman have been delivering an amazing Turtle series, amazing artwork. I think there was only one arc, and that was the second arc, that I didn't like the artwork in, but I still liked the series. I liked the direction of the story. So other than one 4-issue or 5-issue arc where I had to deal with the artwork where I didn't like it. The entire series has been flawless otherwise. Definitely check out the Turtles. Love the Turtles. And I think it's one of my favorite series that's come out of IDW. It is my favorite series out of IDW. So with that being said, that's it for this review. We went exactly 30 minutes. Wow. That's amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget to follow me all across social media. ShootingStarUniverse.com. Don't forget to check out over there. Our post will be going up this week. I'm going to try to get that one post up. Don't forget to follow Dark Avenger Gaming. And if you can, subscribe. We got that contest going on. And don't forget, Comic Book Weekly is tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed. Next week, hopefully, we'll get those comics back on the in the graphics and have all the other fun graphics. I know everybody enjoys them. Unfortunately, just strapped for time this week, but I wanted to get this episode out. So take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and I'll see you all really soon in the next video. Take care, everyone. Twice I said that.